Hi everybody, I'm Ryan. Today we're going to look at Jeskai Stoneblade, the blast from the past that is re-emerging in Legacy, and how to sideboard against the top 10 most popular decks in Legacy. Hopefully you can take the lessons from these top 10 and have it applied to all of the million rogue decks in Legacy, which I've been venting out to one of my Twitch viewers, Darth Dog. But let's jump right into it. The most popular deck in Legacy is it Delver? And actually, the fifth most popular deck in Legacy is Temur Delver. I'm going to cheat and do those kind of together, so I apologize for that right off. First off, we're obviously going to be bringing in Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast to be able to compete with their Forceful strategies. And there's an argument for Rest in Peace against, like, Dragon Rage Channeler and Murktide Regent, but I'd rather just answer the cards, so I actually don't like that. So we are just siding in Pyroblast. And the big thing to understand about Delver is that they're pretty good at grinding and can apply a lot of pressure and play a lot of like low mana stuff. There's some cards that are super important to counter, like Murktide Regent, but that's why we're bringing in Pyroblast. So we actually like taking out Force of Will. It's really important. Oh my god, the cats. It's really important that every card in our deck can keep up 1-for-1 with our Delver opponents. There's nothing super important that we need to counter in our opponent's deck, or they combo kill us. And we have multiple answers to Murktide Regent. That's really the only card I'm like super afraid of in our opponent's deck. My cats, oh my god. This is insane. Can we just talk about, like, I'm recording. Thank you. There's another one over here. Can you go away? I love you. Okay. So yeah, so we don't want to 2-for-1 ourselves. We keep one in because it's better than all these other cards, and we bring in the Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast for their blue cards. The second most popular deck in Legacy is 8-Cast. 8-Cats is a really heavy artifact deck, but what's weird about their artifacts is not a lot of their artifacts like stick or really care about sticking. The big thing that does that we're afraid of is Chalice of the Void, so we are bringing in Meltdown. I'm not worried about using Meltdown on like the other artifacts, like it might be fine against Pithy Needle on like Teferi or something like that, but we really don't want a Chalice for one. That'd be like just super lame, taking out, 3 play sets of cards in our deck. I'm a fan of Humility against 8-Cast because it turns off their very good creatures. I'm a fan of Rest in Peace against 8-Cast because it kind of stops their Emery combo, which is really how they're able to keep up with us because they can't really aggro us out. And I'm a big fan of Blood Moon to beat Urza's Saga, and Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast to take out all of their blue cards. So we're having a pretty large sideboard against this deck. I like taking out Spell Pierce because really the only spells that they're casting besides the artifacts, which I don't really think it's worth to counter, are Force of Will and Thoughtcast. Not super worried about that, so I like taking out Spell Pierce. I like taking out Prismatic Ending because it almost always costs 3 mana. They have Emery and Psy, and then it can't kill the other stuff, so Prismatic Ending is actually pretty bad against this deck. I think we'll find, as far as sideboarding goes too, is the flex slots are Timeless Dragon and Shark Typhoon, so we're going to be taking those out a lot against decks that are not super good. And we need to find cards to take out. And so we're going to take out the Shark Typhoon and Timeless Dragon, and then we're going to shave on just 1 Force of Will. This is another grindy deck that we need to be careful about 2-for-1ing ourselves. There are some cards that we really need to counter, things like the Kappa Cannoneer and like Psy and Emery and stuff like that. But we are bringing in other cards that can deal with those, so I'm okay with siding like this. The third most popular deck in Legacy is Reanimator. Obviously, we're bringing in Rest in Peace because it just turns off their combo. Bringing in Humility so that they, even if they do their combo, it doesn't matter. We're bringing in Force of Negation so that we can continue to interrupt their combo. Same thing with Surgical Extraction, being able to surgical the stuff they're attempting to reanimate. And we are bringing out Prismatic Ending because it doesn't actually kill anything. We are bringing out Wandering Emperor because, yes, it can exile stuff, but it's after the damage has already been dealt. If they're attacking with a creature, then things are already really bad. And then because Shark Typhoon isn't really going to be a situation where we can block or anything, if we've locked them out, we've locked them out. We're going to shave on 3 Shark Typhoon. That's how I like sideboarding against Reanimator. And so I know what you're wondering, and I know I'm going to get this comment, so I'm going to address it now. The reason we have Shark Typhoon in our deck, even though we're siding it out quite a bit, is because it is a good main deck card, and it is good in a vacuum in this deck. The issue is that, like, the only cards we would want over it, I believe, would be, like, either maybe another Planeswalker, maybe another Supreme Verdict, maybe another Spell Pierce or something like that, and just, like, sideboard cards. So, like, replacing the Fringe card or the Flex slot, which is the Shark Typhoon, with those sideboard cards is a really normal way to sideboard. Anyway. The fourth most popular deck is Painter. Against Painter, we are obviously bringing in our Meltdowns because we can take out all of their artifacts. Against Painter, we are bringing in our Hydroblast to kill their red creatures. I like bringing in Rest in Peace because it turns off Goblin Welder and Goblin Engineer. And then Humility is pretty solid because it means they just can't do anything against us. And weirdly enough to say, I actually like Blood Moon against Painter because it kills Urza's Saga and turns off their Ancient Tombs and City of Traders. That being said, their non-creature spells cost very little, so it's really hard to actually snipe a Spell Pierce. So we're going to take out Spell Pierce. Rarely do they have a tap creature that we can take out, so we are going to take out Wandering Emperor. I'm also not a fan of Teferi Time Raveler. We don't really care about them doing stuff at instant speed, and we're not returning anything to their own hand. And then we are going to shave our Flex slot. This is how we sideboard against Painter. The 5th most popular deck, like we already talked about, is Temur Delver, so I'm cheating there, and we kind of did those together. The 6th most popular deck is Cephalid Breakfast. Again, Cephalid Breakfast, we were bringing in Rest in Peace because it stops the Dread Return combo. Same thing with Surgical Extraction. We were bringing in Red Elemental Blast and Pyro Blast because they have a lot of blue cards we would love to counter. And we were bringing in Force of Negation so that we can continue to stop their counter magic. I'm not a big fan of Supreme Verdict. Rarely do they have like a big board that we're worried about. So I like just like kind of taking out Supreme Verdict there. Rarely are they attacking with creatures, so we're going to be taking out Wandering Emperor. They're a combo deck. We're not trying to grind with them, so I like just shaving Shark Typhoon. Again, this is the flex slot. And then we're going to shave on Staff of the Storyteller. While I think it's insane, it's really important that we have our entire deck as things to interrupt our opponent's combo so we don't just die. That's why I like sideboarding against Cephalid Breakfast. The 7th most popular deck in Legacy is Death and Taxes. Death and Taxes is now a Yorion deck, which is really good. Humility is a very good card against Death and Taxes. I really like it, being able to turn off everything that they're doing. And that's really all I care about sideboarding in. The rest of our deck is really solid against Death and Taxes. And we're just going to shave a Spell Pierce for Humility because Spell Pierce counters so little cards in their deck. So I like sideboarding against Death and Taxes. The 8th most popular deck in Legacy is Sneak and Show. Against Sneak and Show, we are obviously bringing in Humility because then it doesn't matter if they combo. We are bringing in Power Blast and Red Elemental Blast to kind of stop their blue cards from doing their thing. We're bringing in Force of Negation to continue to stop their combo. There's an argument for Hydro Blast for sneak attack, but that's like their only main deck red spell. It doesn't really do anything against stuff in the sideboard either, so I'm not super worried about it. We're going to be taking out Prismatic Ending. It doesn't actually get rid of like anything. We're going to be taking out Supreme Verdict because if they have already done, if we like untap, they've already sort of done the damage. We need instant speed removal. And then we're going to be shaving a single Shark Typhoon. And that's how I like sideboarding against Sneak Attack. The 9th most popular deck in Legacy is Death Shadow. And we're actually going to be sideboarding really similar to the way we sideboard against Delver. Because it's sort of a Delver deck, just they deal more damage to themselves and get a giant guy. So we're bringing in Power Blast and Red Elemental Blast. One big difference against Delver is Blood Moon is actually pretty good against them because they don't run red and they don't run basics normally. And so we're going to be taking out our Force of Wills because we don't want to 2-for-1 ourselves. And we're just going to be shaving on a Shark Typhoon like normal. And so I like sideboarding against Death Shadow. And the 10th and final deck that we're going to talk about how to sideboard against is Doomsday. Against Doomsday, obviously, we're bringing in our Force of Negations to just like stop the card that matters in our opponent's deck. We're going to be stopping Power Blast so they can win our counter wars. I actually like Blood Moon against Doomsday too because like normally their only basic is an island, which means it's just impossible to cast Doomsday because they can't even Dark Ritual. And I actually like Humility because then if we have Humility out, they can't actually win. Like Thassa's Oracle does nothing. That being said, a lot of our removal is just like really bad against this deck. In fact, I even like bringing out, our Wandering Emperors and some number of Swords of Plowshares. I like keeping some number in because sometimes they like, just hard cast Grief, or sometimes they like have a sketchy Thassa's Oracle that you can take out. But we should shave most of them because most of the time Swords of Plowshares is actually going to be dead in this matchup. And this is how I like sideboarding against Doomsday. So there you have it, how to sideboard against the top 10 most popular decks in Legacy. If you like this video and like Jeskai Stoneblade, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.